has primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cutting the Ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben. As always, I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And Claire.
Hey.
And today we're going to talk about Randy Quaid and the Star Whackers. It's not a weird porno.
I thought it was a porn star name.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
I love Randy Quaid though. Let's just have a moment's appreciation for Randy Quaid.
I love him. I don't know if I'd love him as a porn star.
Yeah, why not? You know, I've watched a video of him humping his missus
That's
earlier.
true.
So
Oh, until we saw this picture this evening of him, I hadn't.
you hadn't twigged?
No.
You thought it was a porn star?
Yeah, I'll still go with that. I'm going, this is going to be exciting this evening.
I didn't know until yesterday he was Dennis Quaid's brother.
Fuck's me. There's no one do research.
I just never put two and two together. It looks so different.
They do, don't they? They do. Although with his wild man beard, I would probably watch him do a porno. He's got right there. Anyway, yeah.
Fair enough.
Some caveman porno.
Yeah, caveman porn. You never watched it, Claire?
No.
Oh, you're
What's
missing
Four
out.
of the Rings, though?
All of the Rings. I thought you'd been more into Shaving Ryan's Privates.
No, and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
The what?
Seven Dwarfs?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
That's a porno.
Believe it or
They
not.
get the same name.
They would have changed it, surely.
No.
Like Blow White or something.
No, Snow White.
Yeah, I think we'll probably go with Blow White and the Seven Dwarfs, in all fairness.
Or the Seaman Dwarves, but...
Yeah.
I think it's just enough. It's got a lot of dwarf sex in it, hasn't it?
Well, I don't never
It's
seen
kinky
it.
enough as it is.
I've never watched it. I've
Neither
never
have
watched
I.
Dwarf Tracks.
Neither have I.
The closest I've come to that is when I watched Game of Thrones, to be fair.
Is there a bit in that, was there?
Well, you know, the Tyrion, the dwarf, he was a bit of a lad about town money, but you never saw him having sex. It was just implied. That's the closest I've come, anyway.
You must come, did you?
Well, watching Game of Thrones. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, we'll do thanks to new returning listeners, and then we'll crack on with some weird news, and then get to the main cut and thrust of today's topic. So, where are we going to start with? Edinburgh in the United Kingdom, Pell City, as Alabama, Milan in Italy, Adelaide, Australia, Hamilton in New Zealand, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Brussels, Belgium, welcome back, I've seen you before. Indianapolis, Indiana. Madrid, Spain. Boardman, Oregon. Belfast in Ireland. Crewe, United Kingdom. Duncan in Canada. Vancouver, Canada. Scott City, Missouri. Gwenville, North Carolina. Ashburn, Virginia. Keswick, where was Keswick? Canada. Flint, Michigan, you're back. Bengaluru in India breaking into the top 10 for the first time.
Crikey.
He's telling his mates, or her mates, or whoever it is.
Yeah.
Scarborough, Canada, Thomasville in Georgia, Guadalajara, Spain, and this week, for a long time, Telford, of all places, our hometown, is top.
Hey. Yeah, thank you for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening, that's amazing. Telford, that's incredible. Alright then, weird news.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Taxidermists are turning deer butts into Sasquatch heads. And I can't stop laughing, apparently. Scroll down.
Okay.
Now, some people don't like taxidermy. Some people think it's cool. Would anyone do the work themselves? I wouldn't. How about you?
No.
No?
I'll give it a go.
Would
Yeah.
Turn my hand to anything on it.
You wouldn't do it to your own animal, your own pets, though, surely.
But no, I'd pay someone else to because they'd probably look cockeyed if I did it.
So, you know, your two dogs, would you have them taxidermied in the house, Claire?
Possibly, and then
Yeah.
just curled up on the sofa.
Or like a cushion?
So you could be like, oh, this was my favourite.
What with a new dog? What's the new dog gonna think?
Why don't you fill it with jelly beans and when you squeeze its belly, one pops out its bum?
Mike, we've been doing this podcast for a long time and I think that's the best idea you've ever had in your life.
That sounds like a Christmas reindeer thing. Groups out. Yeah, no, I don't think, no. You get them cremated, don't you? People don't go for taxidermy, it's only people that, you know.
It's only
really
weird.
It's a really old thing, isn't it, taxidermy as well, you know. Deer's heads and...
People's heads.
People's...
Serial killers might have people's heads on the wall. Mounted like trophies, who knows?
But if you know, someone, you know, or one day I was in the need to taxidermy something, I'd give it a go. Why not? I'd just read a book or go on YouTube, they'll show you how to do it, wouldn't they? You'd have to first, like skin it and stuff, wouldn't you? And then,
It says you the...
dry out the pelt, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you gotta formaldehyde it, you gotta do the whole... remove the innards, put formaldehyde in to preserve it, you gotta treat the coat and the pelt, I think. Not that I've ever taxidermied anything, I don't know.
I was going to say,
This makes me sound really dodgy now.
If it dried out too much, yeah, it would go like all miniature, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Like shrunken heads.
Huh?
Like shrunken heads.
That's to do with moisture, I'm sure it is. I don't know.
My French bulldog would turn into a chihuahua.
The reason they're shrunken, I think, is just because it's just a face, isn't it? And they stretch it over.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Never shrunken a head. I've only ever peeled the face off one. I mean...
Never taxidermied, never shrunk a head. You never lived, you know.
I'm just a solid necromancer, buddy.
Maybe we should go on an experience day together. Taxidermy. We can do a mouse each.
Oh man, imagine if there was a taxidermy day experience. Drive a Ferrari, fly a World War II fighter plane, taxidermy a mouse.
We'll stuff what you kill on the way here. Daddy, get the badger, get the badger. I want to stuff the badger.
Daddy, get the deer. Oh, it's a stag. Antlers of the windscreen.
It's an old lady. Put her in the back.
Well, I've always fancied being taxidermied when I died.
Oh.
Sorry, Ben, but where would you go? Where would you...
Oh, I was thinking you put me in the corner, right? Maybe you can open my chest up and there'll be a fridge in there.
Right.
Like a beer fridge. Take the top of my head off, ice cube bowl.
Right.
Maybe my thumb could be a bottle opener. I'm sort of stood with my thumbs up, like, hey!
With a good expression.
Yeah.
Penis as a coat hanger.
Penis as a coat hanger. Can fit a lot of coats on it.
You can have him, Mike. You wouldn't go with my decor.
Obviously, that's if I was to die in the next few years, or at the peak of physical condition. If I was to die when I was older, I'd want to be mummified in a pyramid. Or a Viking burial. I don't mind which one. If you want to build the pyramid, build the pyramid. You know, you two. I'll break it down for you.
You could just take him down to the caves down Bridgenorth and just, like, I don't know, boulder in one of the
No,
doors.
that's too Jesus Christ. You don't want me to go in back in 3 days, do you?
Yeah, chuck him in the canal.
Just throw me in the trash. I couldn't give a shit. So people are taking deer butts to taxidermists, some deer they killed, and having them turned into Sasquatch heads with a bit of creative artwork, and they're calling them ass squatches. Which I love. We had the pictures up on here. There you go, score there.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh.
That's awesome. They're like Wookiee faces, but they're deer asses.
And you'd wear this or something? Is it a mask?
No, you stick it on the wall. Is it like a fun trophy? You've shot the deer, so you got the head, and you're not wasting the ass.
That'd
Fair
be
enough.
interesting. I'm not sure I'd want one on the wall.
Oh, I would definitely want the top one, which looks like a wise old Bigfoot on the wall. Although I would feel a twinge of sadness every time I walk past it, going, "Oh man, I've got a wise Bigfoot's head on the wall." Ah, no, it's just a deer ass. I'm okay.
I think it looks like a wise marmoset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a simian. I'm just wondering whether the mouthpiece there is actually the deer's anus.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And look at this.
Or vag. I can't make up my mind.
What about the one-eyed goat thing?
The one-eyed thing.
Hillbilly goat.
That's Hillbilly Cyclops Bigfoot, the one down below.
It looks like a hairy version of that ghost out of Monsters Inc.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't it?
That's not a ghost in Monsters Inc. He's a monster.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's a ghost.
And again, is the eye the bumhole?
That's another valid question. In all fairness. Oh well, that's pretty much that article. I just thought it was entertaining.
So different.
I kind of want one, but I don't. No, we'll see what happens.
Not for $265.15 or not.
Yeah, maybe
Why?
not. I can't afford that. Not with a pound falling after Brexit. We're free of the EU now. Thought I should point it out.
Happy days.
We'll see.
We will.
Did you vote to leave?
I did. Yeah, I vote to leave.
I don't think that's all we need to say.
I
on that
abstained.
subject.
I can see where she's coming from.
Because like everything was just there's too much chatting in Europe, too much chatting and not enough doing, and a lot of restrictions, and you have to always go through. It's like always going back to your mum and dad. Can I do this, please?
We always had the veto. We never lost anything. We could have voted on anything they wanted to put in. We could have vetoed it. We could have done anything. We never lost. We never had lost anything.
I think we've lost more than we're going to gain. But
Don't worry, we got some fishing quota back.
Yeah, we have. But a fishing quota.
0.001% of the economy, but we've got a little bit of it back to the financial sector, which is 80% that's going to suffer.
we don't fish in 10 years anyway, so what's the problem?
Well, this is what people don't seem to understand. Anyway, enough of Brexit.
Enough for Brexit.
We've had 4 fucking years of it,
Yeah,
and
I'm
it's
glad
done.
it's fucking done.
And you know
I'm
what?
sick of it.
I don't like the whole thing. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it's going to do us any good, but it's done. You know,
Move on,
it's done. I accept the result. I accepted it on the day after. I might have bitched and moaned about it, but I accepted it. It's done. We haven't got to talk about it anymore. Check out our Brexit
Until we prosper
episode.
and I go ha ha ha.
You know what, Claire? If we prosper, right?
You'll be going ha 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 too.
No, I will drink Skull for the night.
Okay.
2% shitty, awful tasting Skull lager.
The only way it would have prospered was under a left exit, and it was clear that was never going to happen. It was always a far right. They took over it, didn't they, and hijacked it for their own gains. Because that new tax evasion.
Oh yeah, it was all
laws
about tax evasion.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with anything else. It was the EU wanted to bring in new tax. So you know, with the Panama Papers, all them people having, all the rich having their offshore money accounts.
Con man's trick again, innit?
EU wanted to stop that. All European members, if you're a citizen of it, you can't have that. You've got to keep your money in country. People like Rees-Mogg and Boris and Cameron's dad didn't like that idea so much, so they engineered a Brexit vote, and that is why we are leaving the EU, because rich people want to stay rich and get richer.
Yep.
I guarantee you that your and mine life will not get any better, or possibly any worse. Maybe a little bit worse in terms of services.
Of course, it's getting worse, isn't it? It's evident.
Anyway,
That's just the Tory government.
Yeah, of course.
I'm convinced.
Like
of
I
that.
said, if you come out under a Jeremy Corbyn exit, it would have been completely different.
we'd have probably just stayed as like a Norway, Sweden, Denmark.
Had all the benefits and none of the costs. Yeah, but weren't to be, was it? So
No. Anyway,
moving on.
deer
Moving on.
butts and Sasquatch faces. I'm down.
Man gets drunk and legally changes name to Celine Dion.
Well, we've all been there. New Year's Eve, smash off your tits on your own in lockdown. Fuck it, I'll do it online. Change my name for a laugh. Who knows?
You can do it online.
You probably can't. I know it costs like 30 quid to do it. You can change it back after a month.
Well, a Staffordshire man reportedly changed his legal name to Celine Dion when he was intoxicated. The man, a 30-year-old hospitality worker formerly known as Thomas Dodd, was a huge fan of the Think Twice singer and claimed to have had the idea to change his name while watching a virtual concert.
Well, if I was called Thomas Dodd, I might consider it.
What, Celine Dion?
Yeah, why not?
Change your name to anything.
Yeah, why not? He's gone mad over lockdown. He says, here's a quote. During lockdown, I've been watching a lot of live concerts on the TV. I can only think I've been watching one of hers. I had a great idea after a few drinks. So he's doing what we all did over lockdown. He just got smashed and watched concerts. So he's going to go and see one.
Yeah, but you're saying you think it's a good idea?
Well, whatever, he can change it.
Yeah, but not to Celine Dion. That's not a good idea, surely. Even he's regretting it now.
Well, he's got to last it for a month. It's not like he's got to change it. It's not like he's going to go to the bank or anything. It's only a month, 30 days, change it back.
Yeah, would that be sort of fraud? Using your own
That's
card?
it, yeah. You've probably got to change everything. Then change it back a month later. What a ball ache.
Oh, change banks,
He's an
get yourself a cash reward.
This man's an idiot. He deserves what he gets.
I'm not saying that he's not an idiot.
You're an idiot for agreeing with him, man.
So it's something I would have done for a laugh.
You just said you would.
Yeah.
You said it was a good idea.
Maybe not a Celine Dion, but...
Thank you, finally.
Hey.
But if I
We got
was...
there.
But he loves Celine. He says I'm slightly obsessed with Celine, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So I used to think, well, yeah, maybe I'll change my name to Lemmy. Or Corey Taylor. Or Lars Ulrich, or something like that. Because I've been watching download reruns, sat in the garden getting pissed. You know, I mean, I'm not going to watch Celine Dion. The other day, am I? Tommy Dodd loves it. I love how they changed his name half into the article.
Yeah. After arriving home from work one day after Christmas, Dodd found a big white envelope waiting for him. According to Dion, he nearly passed out after opening the document in his kitchen. My initial concern was, how on earth do I tell the HR department at work that I need to change my email footer? Now I'm thinking it could be a great way to get backstage.
See, every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it?
How's he gonna get back? How?
Hi, my name's Celine Dion. You're clearly a 30-year-old balding man, sir. My name's Celine Dion. Here's my ID. Let me in. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Dion.
Everything seems above board.
I didn't realise you were having one of those days.
I haven't got my wig on. Or my tits in.
Yeah.
Dion confirmed that he did not intend to change his name back for the time being, adding that it could be worse and it could have been Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
Cool. And he was hoping that he wasn't going to get pulled over by the police.
Oh, man.
Yeah, don't do that, peeps.
Or do it if you want to, fuck it. Whatever makes you happy. It's been a difficult year.
Yes.
Well, actually, no, saying that. Apart from the bits I've had to work, I really enjoyed lockdown. Because I just sat there getting pissed and watching stuff in the garden. It was amazing.
It's been quite relaxing.
And
we had some nice sun.
in all fairness, my mental health is one of the best it's been for a few years. During lockdown, I didn't have to go to work. I was getting full pay. It was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I blitzed Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It was fucking great. I had plenty of time, and I got pissed a lot and high. It was great.
Unfortunately, there was a lot of people, it?
A lot of people. It didn't do so well for. I was very lucky. I will accept that. It's a lot of people didn't do well.
A
Yeah.
lot of people did have a garden or whatever, did they?
That's it. Yeah,
Lost their jobs.
lost their jobs. I was very lucky, but you know,
So we need a universal basic income, but
I would have. I think that actually was the best idea. And why furlough? Why do this furlough scheme? And you know what?
UBI.
Is £1,200 a month.
Yeah. No one will ever slip into poverty again.
You know, per person in the country.
But obviously, there's going to be a few that will just gamble it away and they've got problems and they need help.
Well, that's,
You know,
that's their own
that's-
problem. Is
yeah.
we're saying it's £1,200 a month,
Yeah. Well,
and
the vast majority eradicate poverty. So at the moment, there's how many million kids without food?
I don't know. On UNICEF involved in London.
Absolute disgrace,
It's
isn't
only
it?
going to get worse. Brexit's not going to do any favours. That red bus with £250 million on the side is going to be a battle bus soon.
We said we weren't going to mention Brexit again, so we're moving on.
Moving on. Sorry. Yeah.
Police in Pakistan have detained a man who was riding through the city streets dressed as a werewolf to scare people on New Year's Eve.
I don't see a problem. This is awesome. He's doing his civic duty. He's a bit locked down, isn't it?
So, a resident in the Peshawar city of the Moti neighbourhood and was detained by Shaka Kabul police for allegedly making roaring noises at people while riding his motorcycle.
That's fantastic.
As reported by the local news. The city police filed an initial charge sheet against the individual who had not yet been identified and say that they are investigating his motives.
Investigating his motives? Yeah, exactly. Lighten the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
Locked down.
I love the
things of
picture.
shit.
He's in a blue shirt with a werewolf mask on. His hands are cuffed in front of him, and you're like, that's ace. This is like, they didn't even take the mask off him for the photo.
I mean, unless he was harassing people, what's the problem?
Well, he is roaring at them as he drives past a motorbike. I guess it could be claimed as harassment.
Maybe. But,
Depends who's doing it to.
Yeah.
do you need to charge him? Just say, come on, mate, you know, I know you're having a laugh, but you're bombing people.
Why? There's the Pakistani police. He's lucky putting him a gun down.
I don't know how bad they are.
They thought he was a suicide bomber and gunned him down. Who's to know? There were a lot of suicide bombers, is what I'm trying to say. The police are highly militarised. Sorry, Claire.
There's lots of pictures circulating social media, and there's one of him in handcuffs and one of him on a bike.
He looks like a cross between a motorbike riding Clint Eastwood werewolf. He's got the poncho on and everything.
And supposedly he was more pulled over for not having a face covering. Like to do with COVID, and then someone else says, you know, it's like foolproof mask, wearing the whole mask again, you know.
Yeah.
If anything, he's taking it to the extreme.
That's it. Yeah, another guy said it's better than wearing PPE.
Yeah.
And will keep people away from him.
Yeah, social distancing is not going to be a problem when you dress as a werewolf. Because at the very least you're going to go, that guy's a bit weird, I'll just move back slightly out of stab range.
I think he should have been howling, not growling.
That is an amazing photo, though. I can't believe they took the photo and left the mask on.
Yeah.
And although I don't understand why one officer's wearing a face mask and the other isn't. Or maybe he's exempt.
Maybe.
I'm jumping to conclusions. And they do look like office staff policemen, don't they? They've got a bit of a gut on them, both of them. One looks quite old and the other's rather fat. They're like the two guys from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I can't remember their names now, but they're both the old detectives are really fat. They just sit at the desk eating all day. Has no one ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine apart from me?
No.
I've watched a bit of it, it's quite funny.
Yeah, it is good. I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's the weird news. Alright then, so let's talk about Randy Quaid and the Star Whackers. Right, I'll give you this in a nutshell. Okay? And just brief. I'm going to read you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read you an interview article from Vanity Fair, where they were speaking to Evie Quaid, who is Randy's wife, and Randy himself. But I'm going to fill you in first, right? So, basically, Randy Quaid, very successful actor, nominated for an Oscar, winner of several awards, a BAFTA, a Golden Globe. Been in a lot of great movies, including two of my favourite movies of all time, Independence Day and Kingpin. Kingpin, I think one of the finest comedies ever committed to cinematic... To celluloid is the word, celluloid.
I wouldn't go that far. Not a favourite of mine, but I do enjoy
I
it.
really like it.
I prefer National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, I'm glad you spoke about that because I've never actually watched those movies.
Yeah.
I've seen other National Lampoon movies, but the Christmas Vacation where he plays Cousin Eddie, he's a favourite in those movies, isn't he?
Yeah.
Basically, he's the reason
He
people
makes
watch
it.
those movies.
Yeah, he makes it. Yeah, definitely. That's my favourite performance from him.
I prefer Kingpin.
Yeah,
I do love Kingpin, I must
I like
admit,
it,
but you know,
It's just the film as a whole, and you know.
yeah, I love Kingpin. Bill, you got Bill Murray in there too. It's
Woody.
but he was in National Lampoon Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
You know, well, Bill Murray's better than Chevy Chase, but you know, anyway. And then all of a sudden, you know, and you know, he goes on. He does other serious roles. He does independent films.
In America, he did Lyndon B. Johnson.
That's it, LBJ. They loved that. Was apparently it was a TV movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, and apparently he was very good in that. I've never seen it though.
Yeah, I think he won an award for that actually. It was a TV movie. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the guy that took over after Kennedy. They were both Texans. A weird resemblance facially too. they didn't look too dissimilar with the makeup anyway, certainly. But then he was in stuff like Brokeback Mountain, which was a huge film. I mean, I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Not my kind of thing. You know? A couple of gay cowboys. I mean, I'm sure it's very liberating and very nice and great, but not the sort of thing I want to watch.
I haven't watched it. I just thought it was, I don't know, I just got the impression it was going to be a bit lovey-dovey.
The romance. Yeah, I'm not really into romances.
I'm into space and fighting.
I'm into space and lasers.
Space and fighting.
I like it. Yeah, it's not my thing either. But whatever, it's a film about two gay cowboys and he plays the homophobic ranch owner or something like that. And, again, highly praised. And that's when his things sort of go off the rocks for him a little bit. He sues the makers of that movie because he says that, hey, you told me this was going to be like an independent art house film, not a blockbuster. Made more money than they thought it was going to, probably, to be fair. Let's face it. I mean, yes, it's got a good cast, but a film about two gay cowboys in the 20s, it's not
the 1950s anymore, Ben, you know what I mean?
It's not a crowd puller though, is it? This is
Why
2010,
not?
things have changed.
Well, obviously it was a massive hit.
That's what the gay crowd went.
You wouldn't think it was off the top of your head though, would you? I mean, if that came out the cinema, would any of you go, oh yeah, I'll go and watch that?
And it's
No,
romance.
I don't really like romances, but
Well,
a
yeah,
lot of people do.
I'm just saying they do, alright, okay, I'm just saying that he didn't think it was going to be a massive hit.
It's fair enough.
Right? Turns out it was, he never got paid enough, so he sued them.
Right, okay. So
That's the maddest thing, isn't it?
so he wanted it to be small,
Yeah, he thought it was...
artistic,
Yeah.
but then it went big.
Because he was embarrassed about the role he was playing as a homophobe?
I don't know. Maybe.
He's a bit of a homophobe and didn't want to be in a gay cowboy film.
That's also a possibility, is that because... Well, we can't say that.
No, I don't know. I'm asking you.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. He just thought it was going to be this smart art house flick, and he said, right, so when I thought that, I did it for cheap.
Oh, I see. That's all about money. Okay.
It's all about money.
Yeah. Oh. Now we get to it, yeah. He wanted to be paid more.
Yeah. So then we have the deaths of David Carradine and Heath Ledger, who he was great friends with. And he kind of starts to lose the plot a little bit. For some reason his checks aren't coming through anymore. He suggests that those two may have been killed.
Yeah, he thinks that there's a conspiracy against him from his managers and all these people that are in charge of his accounts and things. I think there's a conspiracy to rob him and defraud him and make him out to be something he's not.
Yeah.
Alright.
There's a lot of problem with Santa Barbara.
Oh, he's
properties and things.
Squatting and
yeah.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the article now, so we'll go to Vanity Fair. So Evie Quaid, his wife, she called from a payphone in Vancouver to say that she and her husband Randy, the actor, had tried to drive to Siberia, but they couldn't figure out how to get there.
Get on the fucking Trans-Siberian Express.
Or drive to Alaska and get a ferry, and then drive that bit. Alaska and Russia nearly touch each other virtually. Unless you believe in a flat earth. Oh no, they're still doing a flat earth. Either way. She said, we're running for our lives. And she wanted to meet them the next day in Vancouver's Chinatown, which couldn't be arranged any other way as the Quaids don't use cell phones anymore because Evie said, they're tracking us. They were the Hollywood star whackers the couple have been talking about in television interviews ever since they arrived in Canada in October seeking asylum. This is in 2010, by the way, I'll point that out. The whackers, they said, were the same people who may have killed, in quotes, David Carradine, who was found with a noose around his neck hanging off the back of a door, Michael Hutchins style.
Alright.
Well, that's what everyone said, but, you know...
He's got a Kill Bill when he...
Yeah, that's where I know him from, because I don't think I've ever seen any of his other movies. I
have an awful film with Stallone, Death Race 2000.
I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, that's an early Stallone, that is.
70s.
That's one of Stallone's first,
Yeah,
I think.
it was his first.
Predates Rocky, maybe?
It's weird. He wears this sort of gimp suit.
Well, this is tying in with the autoerotic asphyxiation thing I've just thought about. Okay.
He's got like a scarred face, and yeah, it's just weird as fuck. I think I turned it off halfway through. It was shit.
Jason Statham did a remake of it back in the a while back. I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe in the year 2000. He has been around a lot longer than we think. Jason Statham. Yeah. Anyway, and Heath Ledger, obviously of Joker fame and Brokeback Mountain, and not Joker, Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. Sorry. And could now be targeting Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan. Tragic.
Well, 2020 and they're still here, so they obviously weren't targeting them.
But are they stealing their money off them slowly? They both had meltdowns.
They did.
Very public meltdowns, and this is obviously a thing with the star whackers. They either kill you or give you these public meltdowns, and you could argue that
how do you give someone a public meltdown?
You make them look mad in the media, don't you? You make things go wrong in their life or siphoning their money out.
It's true, yeah.
I thought Britney did have a mental
She
health
did.
breakdown.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
And her father had to take control of her sort of estate and her
kids?
everything pretty much while she was sort of recovering. But now, the Free Britney movement's all about she wants that control back, and he's still got it. And
hang on, there's a Free Britney movement.
You don't know about the Free Britney movement?
I didn't, to be fair.
No.
There's a Free Britney movement.
Alright, explain.
Well, it's about freeing her from her dad, who's got control of everything still.
Okay.
Because of her mental health.
So,
and she's tied into a contract and this. So, yeah, there's a Free Britney movement.
But, is it her dad? Or is it one of these star whackers who's killed her dad and he's wearing him as a hologram and he's siphoning her money off, has made her have a meltdown, and they're just taking the cash? It's a possibility.
Yeah.
You can't rule it out. Could be a reptilian.
No.
Could be a skull-faced alien. Could be Mark Zuckerberg. Apologies for that, Mark. We're over on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Couldn't have won the Post-Truth Apocalypse. She asked them, are either of you mentally unstable, schizophrenic, or on drugs? That was what Angie Canning asked on Good Morning America. And Evie demanded, do you think we are? And Randy said, no. Now, this woman who did the interview from Vanity Fair said, I found the Quaid sitting in the car. It was a Chinese tea room on a block going with red and yellow neon lights. Nobody's around and it was night. Their car, a black Prius, was crammed with stuff. Clothes, coats, shoes, papers, a pillow, blankets, an excitable Australian cattle dog named Doji, who was hoarse from barking while he was in the pound when his owners were being detained by Canadian immigration. This is the level they believe this, if nothing else. I mean, he has literally given up an acting career where he was a multi-millionaire to live in a Prius in Canada while trying to claim asylum.
He's well gone down the rabbit hole, isn't he?
Just a bit.
You know, prices are deceptively roomy, said Randy.
Priuses,
sorry. He's in the late 60s now.
70, I think.
70?
10 years ago, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
So the motive for them possibly killing him is because he knows stuff, or because of his beliefs, or
They want his cash. Basically, he's saying that...
Yeah, but he's got no cash now, so...
I don't know what he did have. You know, he was getting... You know, he was a very well-paid actor back in the day. Well,
now you're living in a Prius, mate. No one wants nothing from you.
But he's on the run from these guys, or he thinks to siphon the money. Mel Gibson as well mentioned. They destroyed him publicly, destroyed his public image, got him drunk and threw him on stage and let him say bad stuff about Jewish people. Destroyed him, starts siphoning his money out, he's not getting work. Then he starts getting work and then they've got their claws in him then. Randy didn't want that, that's why he went on the run. But what the problem is they've skipped out of a load of hotel bills in their attempt not to be traced when they're not sleeping in the Prius.
And they're not showing up for court dates in Santa Barbara.
They're certainly not, which is where they owed like $10,000.
They're arrested in September 2009.
Yep.
Defrauding an innkeeper, conspiracy and burglary after skipping out a 10 grand bill.
10 grand bill in a hotel.
Fucking hell.
Why would you let it get so high?
'Cause-
Well,
He's
maybe they
Randy
knew.
Quaid.
Maybe they knew they were never going to pay it,
yeah.
and never intended to.
Of course, because you can sort of,
No, why would the person that was,
Ah.
you know, the innkeeper, let it get so high? It's so old school, isn't it?
Well, I guess it's a famous actor coming to stay at your hotel.
Got Randy Quaid here.
Yeah. Oh, we'll try to keep it quiet. I'll give my name as another name, and don't worry, I'll sort you out. I'm Randy Quaid. Don't tell anyone though. The star whackers will get me. I mean, no one will get me. I'm here legitimately for a holiday.
Please keep me for a month and a half.
Everyone used to Mr. Quaid. Oh, for a while. 10 grand's worth. That was 10 grand get me.
I'll have champagne and steak. For the missus.
Champagne steak with a caviar topping, please. They're arrested again for residential burglary and entering a non-commercial building without consent after squatting in a house in Montecito, California, which they formerly owned. They posted a picture online with the key in the door, proving that they still own the property. Because if they didn't, I guess the locks would have been changed.
It's pretty lucky it was empty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was their property?
They're claiming it was still theirs, whereas the bank, the people at the media says, hey, it's been repossessed. But he's saying, well, my key still fits. I've turned the door, it opens, therefore it's mine, isn't it?
Squatters' rights at that point, isn't it? Until they can try and...
Might be different rules in America.
Yeah, I'm not sure how
Different
it
laws.
goes.
That's a thing you don't hear of anymore, isn't it? Squatters' rights. We used to have that in the UK. If you'd been there for so long, you could claim it.
I think that's gone now, isn't it?
No, it's not you can claim it, it's you can stay until they get like the eviction process going.
Ah.
It still goes on in this country.
Don't hear much of it now, though. It was a big thing a few years ago.
Do you know that there's more empty houses than there are homeless people on the streets in Britain?
I know, yeah, and those empty houses still get charged council tax, but at like a reduction rate.
Yeah.
And it's silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
We shouldn't have any homelessness.
Nope.
The last time I went to London, I mean, you had like brand new fucking apartment blocks in the centre of the city that have been just being knocked up, like penthouses overlooking the Thames and Tower Bridge and that, and they're all empty.
Yeah.
But these things are going for like £3 million a fucking pop.
They're gentrifying the area. They're getting rid of the poor, pushing it. We don't want you here now. This land's too valuable.
But
That's
you think,
capitalism.
But yeah, but I mean, just for the winter, just throw it in there. You haven't got to have them furnished, just put some carpet down. I'm sure they'll be glad to sleep in the warm.
Well, when the pandemic started, they housed a lot of homeless, and they housed them all, didn't they?
In the hotels, yeah.
Yeah.
So it can be
They had
done.
the whole travel lodge
The
at
political
Telford.
will is not there. The Tories
So
don't
why
want
can't
it.
they keep them there until they can house each one of them in their own flat?
It's a good question.
Can be done, Claire.
That's why I think we should have more, like, of these, like travel lodge. They should turn that into a sort of maybe short, you stay there until we can house you.
Kick the Queen out. She's got about 60 rooms and put them in there.
I think Buckingham Palace has about 300 rooms in
There you
all
go.
fairness.
That's it.
All the homeless in London sorted, probably.
Well, no, I'd imagine there's a lot more than 300.
Well, maybe in a little district.
Real homeless.
Probably
there
are.
are some unreal homeless, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just relying on friends to sleep on the couches and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't get reported as homeless, but it is.
Yeah, I guess you're right, yeah. There was a lot on the streets when I was last there.
Yeah.
I must admit, it's more than I usually go once a year down to London for a weekend, and I've been the last 3 years, didn't go this year because of COVID, but the last time I was there was a lot more homeless on the streets. Although that could have been the area. I was in, like the first couple of times I was around Tower Bridge, so the Tower of London, all the touristy things. The police are more active around that side, so there wasn't so many, but the next time was sort of down Regent's Parkway, and there was a lot more sort of open space, even though it was quite a posh area. There was a lot more open space.
There's plenty in Telford as well.
There is, yeah.
I've seen one down by the shop by me. I gave him a bit of money.
I worked with the mental health team and that in the Shrewsbury area, and some of the homeless people are sort of travellers. They travel from different places, and then just they bunk down in the winter where they can get some sort of shelter, a sort of homeless shelter for, a couple of weeks, and then they'll travel around the country, and some
I
of them
can
say
believe
that
that
they
too.
come to Shrewsbury for Christmas because a lot of people shop through, and they can get like 120 quid just sitting a day sitting in Shrewsbury Centre, and they says, so we
I can
I
believe
was
it.
just like, I can't. Well, I suppose it's a different way of life. Just because it's not the same as ours. Because some of these people, we were trying to reach out to them and be like, well, do you want to settle or anything? And they were like, no, we're sort of happy doing what we want to.
Some people are. They want to
that-
live an alternative lifestyle. It's to them.
It's probably more than I live on though, £120 a day.
Oh, that's a couple of days over Christmas. Most days.
Most of it
near that.
wouldn't be, but.
Gets
It's a tough life, innit?
Oh
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's not. Fucking hell, sleeping rough's never easy, is it?
Yeah.
Sleeping, these guys are lucky they're sleeping in a car.
And you never know, as you meet some people that are like homeless, they'll have like some people that do want to settle, you'll sort of still stay in contact with them, and you might have a bed for a night. So you're so facilitating over the country.
Yeah.
And that it's just a different way of life, isn't it?
And there's the
Some
hobo
people-
marks on the wood.
I bet the majority though.
The majority,
don't want to be there.
don't want to be there, but there is like.
Yeah, there is.
I just wanted to mention the minority that are sort of happy doing it, really.
That's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah,
If they're happy with it, that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know, they're not tied to anybody. They're world's their oyster in a way.
they're sort of really free people, aren't they?
Well, yeah, travellers more there. They go,
Travellers are really free, sort of,
yeah.
They're not tied to anybody, are they? Or anywhere, are they?
But they're still begging, which isn't great.
Well, some of them do jobs as they go around the
Well, they do,
country,
yeah.
don't
We're not
they?
one of the guys who are just sort of travelling around looking for the best towns to hang out at certain times. You're always a professional beggars in a way, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you got a point in that respect.
You know, you're travelling around different times of year to match the shopping trends. You'd argue you're making quite a bit of money.
That's survival though, isn't it?
Well, it is survival. It's a very effective way of surviving and to a point, but
It's just a different way of life, like the.
I guess it is,
Like the
yeah.
homeless guy that comes to Shrewsbury, at Christmas because it's better than sitting elsewhere or going elsewhere, or
Maybe that puts more stress on the shelters and things like that to support them, because they're just travelling for money essentially and supplying and living on a. Is a shelter for the night. Is a
Gets back to the UBI, doesn't it? If they had a UBI, would they want to do that?
No, that's there you go. Yeah.
Would they move? I think though the ones
Some
that
may.
I'm talking about, they would still move just around the country because they're sort of used to it.
Well, they
What-
could still pick up the UBI and they don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
have. I don't know whether they have to have a fixed abode or not. I'm not sure. Well, I guess not.
You have to have a bank account to the bare minimum, so I guess you could have a fixed abode, haven't
You
you?
haven't got to have a fixed abode for a bank account. You
Haven't
can have
you?
a care of address.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Good
Sometimes
point.
you've got a
Yeah.
friend that'll say, look, mail can come here, but it's not attached to here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, back to Randy.
And he's still homeless, is he? 'Cause
He's
I'm
still
just on a
homeless.
homeless tangent then.
You know, Evie has been charged with resisting arrest at the Montecito house, and she said they hog-tied her.
What?
She's 47, she's a former Hollywood it girl who once modelled nude for Helmut Newton and put up a show in a gallery in LA consisting of giant photographs of her pierced vagina.
Who, Newton?
Helmut Newton.
Helmet, I thought
Helmet.
it was.
She was verging on emaciated, tense and jittery, saying that Randy said that they hadn't eaten at a table in a restaurant like this in 18 months as they settled into the corner of the brightly lit tea room, which was otherwise empty, and both Quaids were glancing around nervously. Quote, Evie, she said, they are hunting us. It's really happening. They've got us in a spiral. Don't let up on them. Drive them off the road, starve them to death. She was slapping her hands together for emphasis. Pull their money out of their bank accounts. Randy says, I guess I'm worth more to them dead than alive.
Are they on drugs?
They said they weren't.
They said they weren't, but, it's not everyone who's on drugs says. I mean, if I got pulled on the way home tonight, well, not pulled, it's not driving.
Pulled
I
on
don't
your
drive.
feet.
If the police drove past me tonight when I'm walking home and said, excuse me, sir, are you high? I wouldn't know. Of course I'm not, officer. Let's face it.
My friend gave me a cannabis lollipop.
I was in a room where other people were smoking. In my bubble, so it's okay.
It's alright, you're white, you won't get pulled over.
Oh,
True though, isn't it?
I can't test that theory without blacking
Back
up.
and go.
That's probably more likely to get me pulled over for other reasons.
Why are you black and go?
Social experiment? Okay, carry on. As long as you're not really black, otherwise it would beat you. Talia Sadiq Khan's firework display with his BLM fist, which all the gammons are melting down over. And so I don't really care, although it looked quite fun. But either way.
I thought it looked good, but
Yeah,
it was
it looked
just
good.
the whole thing was too political for me.
Yeah, and no, I don't know. It was alright.
The NHS bit was good. Praising the NHS.
Yeah.
Workers. I enjoyed that bit.
That was nice. Captain Tom, I mean, he shouldn't have had to do it in the fucking first place. I mean, 98-year-old war veteran Captain Tom walking 100 miles on his Zimmer frame in his garden to raise 100 million quid for the NHS during the COVID pandemic. 99-year-old shouldn't be dragging themselves around their fucking garden to raise money for their health service.
While the billionaires...
And especially in the middle of a fucking pandemic.
I know, while the billionaires don't pay their taxes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, that
What a world, eh?
That could have put a couple of years on Captain Tom's life, couldn't it? You know.
Well, I'll give you that. That cardio might have him. He might have lost some visceral fat, and he could have had. I mean, he's been knighted as well, so he's probably getting a very nice pension right now. Let's face it.
And what's he doing, sitting in the care room?
And now he's sitting in the care home dribbling again. Probably. Why didn't they promote him? That's what I want to know.
To
Major Tom rides itself, doesn't it?
yeah.
Send him to space,
really
shall we?
good.
Yes.
No, you'd have got some Bowie fans just going sick over that.
Our co-host dying.
I'm killing myself. Oh. Yeah. Right itself, did it? Major Tom going to the Space Odyssey, raised 100 million quid for fucking the NHS.
What is up there? Can rescue Major Tundy.
Oh, Major Tundy. Do you know about Major Tundy? Well, you don't.
No, I don't know who Major Tundy is.
There was an email scam sent out. That's like new listeners. This is like really early cutting of the bone. Major Tundy was an email scam sent out saying that this Nigerian astronaut called Major Tundy, who had gone up to Mir, or gone up to the Russian space station
1975.
in 1975,
Something like that.
right, and had been there since.
Right.
Oh no, was it 1995 maybe?
Oh yeah, because Mir wasn't up there in 75. Then long, they only got the moon in 69.
He's been there for 20. That's it. He's been there for 25 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wants to raise money to get him back.
Yeah, the
He
Russians
said he's owed a load
bring you
of
home.
he's owed a load of pay and everything. So when he gets back, he'll pay the money back.
Yeah, basically,
He gets back to
I
him.
need 350 grand. If you donate, I'll give you like times 10 back or something like that.
I'm owed a lot of back pay.
I'm owed like millions in back pay
25 years.
because I've been in space for 20 years. Major Tundy, bring him home. Hashtag Major Tundy. So people started noticing there was something seriously missed the Quaids about 3 years ago. That would have been 2007. When Randy left the Broadway-bound musical Lone Star Love and was then banned for life from the Actors Equity Association, the stage union for physically and verbally abusing his fellow performers. Then came the arrests, the couple's bizarre appearances at various court dates. For example, they wore pink handcuffs, Evie carried Randy's Golden Globe and had a, quote, valid credit card affixed to her forehead. By the time they arrived in Canada, calling themselves, quote, refugees and claiming they were targets of an assassination plot, the Quaids had gone viral.
Yeah, it's a bit of a descent into madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked them when they believed their tours began, and they said it was in Marfa, Texas, the rural artist community where the film Giant was shot. They said they had travelled there in the summer of 2009 to take a look at ranches and stuff, quote, and erect a Randy Quaid museum.
Hey!
They've been fixing a building in the middle of town, reportedly without the proper permits.
Oh.
Already, Evie said that something really weird had started to happening with Randy's mail. His royalty and residual checks weren't coming. We were, well, sort of really truly panicked. Adding to their unrest was the recent demise of the actor David Carradine, a friend of Randy's whose death from apparent autoerotic asphyxiation in Thailand the Quaids believed to be suspicious.
Okay, well, it's a lot of things hitting him at once, innit? You know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden the money...
His museum's not there.
The museum ain't... You know, they haven't got a permit for the museum. The money's not coming through. They've just lost a close friend.
Independence Day, Kingpin, all the other movies, they're not bringing the royalties anymore.
Yeah, that's how quickly it can happen, innit?
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, you've gone from earning... And at one point, I think he was getting paid like $1 million a film.
And he's a millionaire.
And he's a
Now think
millionaire
about
already.
the people that are just hanging on by their fingernails and they have that happen to them.
Yeah.
Lose their job, they don't get their money anymore. One of their relatives or friends dies.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so easily done.
Absolutely. They, in quotes, the aforementioned Hollywood style whackers decide, okay, if we knock off David, then what we can do is simply collect the insurance covering his participation in the television show he was working on overseas. Evie said, it's almost moronic, it's so simple. She also suspected Jeremy Piven's falling in for mercury poisoning was another sign of a dastardly plot by the Broadway producers of Speed the Plough to collect insurance money. She said it was an orchestrated hit. They could have put mescaline in his water bottle. Jeffrey Richards, one of the producers of the play, declined to comment.
Interesting.
While the Quaids were in Martha, Evie, always a colourful personality, became embroiled in a local battle between the police and the sheriff's departments, and at a local town council she was getting in the mayor's face, said Randy, and he calls Evie a character. The Quaids are on the side of the Martha cops, which made it all the more awkward when a deputy sheriff came out to arrest them, after being informed they were wanted by a Santa Barbara police for defrauding an innkeeper.
So they've gone to the police for help and they've gone, hang on a minute, but you're wanted for defrauding an innkeeper, sorry.
Yeah, because they do maintain it was all part of an insidious plan. It's a conspiracy with the police in Santa Barbara, Evie insisted. The San Jacinto ranch where she and Randy were married in 1989 had tricked them into switching to a more expensive room where they stayed there in the June of 2009.
How do you trick someone into staying into a more expensive room?
You say, oh yeah, you have this suite here instead, and you don't tell them because this is star whackers and they can organise anything.
Okay.
Okay.
After which the hotel repeatedly put through charges of $73,000 on their Chase credit card. She said rendered incapable of processing payment. She said they never received the bill for their $10,000 stay, as she believed Randy's mail was actually being rerouted into a phony probate file set up by the Hollywood star whackers in the name of Rhonda L. Quaid. She said she never received the bill. A spokesman for the San Jacinto Ranch denied all of the Quaid claims, saying, we attempted to contact them for payment many times via phone and mail, and we contacted the police in coordination with a collections agency. And the first time Rod Forney, the detective who handled the warrant for the couple's arrest, rang them, he just said, well, she was hung up on me and she was really rude. However, Evie alleges that Forney was hardly involved in the Michael Jackson setup. That's something she determined after seeing the detective's picture on Google Images, where there's a shot of him going in to testify at Jackson's 2005 trial for child molestation, in which he was called as a witness for the prosecution. Forney called the allegation ridiculous, saying, I was never near Michael Jackson, ever. I wasn't even the one assigned to the case. I just helped serve the search warrant on Michael Jackson's private investigator. But still, add something to another layer. Another layer. Evie says that you have to keep in mind that David Carradine had just died and Robert Blake, and the whole thing was fake. I would Evie set it up, and I was really convinced and still am that there are people trying to kill us, really kill us. She told me that one day she was visiting a ranch outside Martha and talking on her cell phone. She heard a voice say, "If you kill her, there's a lot of money into it."
Oh, right.
Randy says that someone cut into her phone.
You're not going to hear them fucking plotting your murder on the phone.
No.
Oh, it's psychological warfare 101. He's like, we're gonna kill her, yeah, pay a lot of money. And she's hearing that, whispering when she's on the phone. That's why they stopped using cell phones.
Yeah, but that would, more for threats though, isn't it?
Psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Makes them more nervous, makes them more likely to make mistakes.
Why haven't they checked where these royalty checks have been going? That's the first thing I do. If the money stops, I'm like, why does it stop?
Yeah, if you contact your agent, you have to give them an address to send them to, and then they know where you are.
What's wrong to go to my normal bank account?
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe they'll track you by, I don't know. This is all crazy. But still, entertaining. So yes, skipping it on hotel bills, 10 grand, here and there.
Yeah, one was 58, I think, or something like that.
58, I don't know, probably close to 100 by the time they've... That was Chester the cat. He lives here, we don't. He has every right to make his voice heard. So when you find out that you call some of these 17 plus people named in Randy Quaid's lawsuit, it's that they actually feel full of and for the Quaids. They are angry and they are upset. Several of them told me they haven't seen a pitch for a reality show that Randy and Evie sent to a production company called Star Trackers. The show has Evie and Randy playing a Bonnie and Clyde-like couple that hunts down the Hollywood star whackers. The first sentence envisions the couple shooting off the head of one of the people named in the lawsuit. This person said he briefly hired security. That might be a slight over-exaggeration. Some of the people they were suing, said Lloyd Braun, who was Randy's former lawyer, now head of the production company Berman Braun, are some of the nicest, most reputable people in Los Angeles. Incredibly honourable people who cared about Randy. Or did they? Or are they all stealing his money?
That's it, whose side do you believe?
Are they driving him into insanity? I still care about Randy, said John Kelly of Bressler Kelly and Associates, Quaid's former agents, who were also named in the lawsuit. He played a very important role in my life as a young agent, and we experienced a lot of great times together, both professionally and personally. I'm sorry to see him going through all this stuff now, and I don't know why he wouldn't go with all these people who really cared about him, but that was 15 years ago, and I can't say I really know him anymore. Tragic. A lot of people said they've missed the sweet, easygoing actor they used to know. Many pinned Randy's downfall on Evie. I said to him over and over again, said Braun, your wife is out of control. She was an out of control spender. I think it's pretty obvious they spent all their money. They lived on a lavish lifestyle.
Living in a Prius.
Well,
Before that,
that,
all them lovely hotels that they never paid for.
using his name to get it as well, when you think about it. When I first knew Randy, he had these really good circles of friends. He had his church group, his golf group, his actor buddies. Evie engineered the estrangement of Randy from anybody that predated her in his life. You find yourself scratching your head asking, what the fuck happened to him?
We've all seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Friends get with somebody and they change them, I guess, in a way.
They vanish, they spend all their time with that person, you don't see them and you become estranged.
Yeah.
You know, it does happen. The major question for us all is what spell she has over this fellow, said someone who used to work with Randy.
This is Evie now.
Yeah, she said that he's been in this business for 40 years and I've been watching his back for 25. Why do you think he's still alive? Right,
Because of her, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna absolutely say now that she has got massive psychological problems. And
You're a health professional diagnosing
no, I'm not. This is my opinion.
Alright.
and that she has got him sold. Her dialogue of what's going on, whatever she says, he's there because she's younger than him. She equally thinks she's out of his league any other time, and he's like, yeah, yes, and he's
You're
like
saying that she's bewitched him.
yeah, absolutely.
Or she's the only one that'll listen to all his, like, you know, conspiracy. She'll just go with it. All, you know.
Because of her own problems, or did she plant the ideas in his head, and because he's this actor, he's this creative guy,
They could have, like, sort of manifested it together. It's a classic case of, you know, if you surround yourself with conspiracy stuff, you start believing it, and it becomes like snowballs.
I think they've both been watching too much Alex Jones.
Snowballs into Alex Jones. And if you're both for Alex Jones and going the full Alex Jones,
going full Alex.
Going full Alex.
We got full Alex after, haven't we?
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, there was a video, like you were mentioned before, of him doing his missus with what mask on?
A Rupert Murdoch mask.
Wow.
So yes, there's definitely some insanity going on. But do you think that she's got him to that point because of his younger woman, older man, wants to keep her bought into her story and give him a shared delusion, a shared psychosis?
We don't know who started this. She might have had a spending issue. You know, you live to sort of your means, and you live to,
well, this is the other thing.
What status you think you are, you know, and you know that's why you got your A-listers, your B-listers, and so forth.
Maybe the money was drying up and they didn't want to stop living a lavish lifestyle.
Yeah.
This is maybe they were addicted to the spending.
Mm-hmm.
And
could be.
You know, she blew all his money. Maybe she got really.
I think it's a mixture of everything coming together. So you got
well,
her
influence. Did you go with Randy, or did you go with her as the instigator?
Well,
I go with her as the instigator. And
I think they could both feed each other.
They do, but that's only because he's bought into her own delusion.
Well, it could be because we don't know her. Hang on a minute. We don't know her past, do we? So we know Randy Quaid's past. We know what he used to be an actor. They say he was a nice man. He was quiet and whatever. So she may have changed him. It's quite possible, but we don't know her background, do we?
We don't, but I think
he may have changed her as well.
He may have changed with society.
Yeah, because he's now a Trump supporter. He's come out vocally as a Trump supporter, and
he's got a load of mad videos.
A lot of mad videos.
If the listener wants to look on his YouTube page, there's hundreds of 1 minute video clips of him mainly reading out Trump tweets into the camera, dead close with flashing lights.
Yeah, like proper LSD lighting going on. I mean,
it does look insane.
It does.
If you asked anybody just like the day after the moon landing, if it happened, loads of people would be like, well, yeah, majority of them. But these days, you know, you would get those people that are questioning it, wouldn't you? You know, isn't it like only 2/3 of America believes that we've actually gone to the moon? So it just shows you how things have changed, sort of like in people's.
Yeah, but a lot of people in America think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. They do.
Do they?
Yeah, that was well, I don't know how big that survey poll was. I apologise.
Was it 5-year-olds?
I don't know.
I think it was adults.
It was adults, was it? I think so. It can be looked up.
My son asked the other day, why do some people turn brown? I was like, well, mate, they're born brown. They got like either, you know, a brown mommy and a brown daddy, or, you know, white mommy. He had to explain all that. I was like, they're born brown, aren't they?
What are you talking about, tans?
No, he's talking about like black people.
Oh, right. Why do some people go brown in this line? The sun for water.
It's just the way that he said it. He goes, why did they turn brown like that? He was watching the news and.
No.
I was just like, oh, it's so innocent.
Kids' minds, eh?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 7.
So he's got 7. He's got no concept of race, has he? He's just like, oh, that guy's brown.
No, because
Something
we've
you
got
learn,
black friends.
isn't it?
We've got.
Yeah.
But he's just never asked.
Something you learn,
It's just
isn't
something
it?
he just asked the other day.
He's got no concept. He's like, he's been thinking about that for a while. To be fair, like, yeah, why are they more brown? Why are they more tanned? You're like, oh. Weird, isn't it? Never an issue for kids, only an issue for adults.
Of course, you learn it, don't you? That's why there's a big belief now that human nature is not what. It's not like the Lord of the Flies. Do you know what I mean?
That's a shame.
Because that actually happened. Some kids were actually deserted on an island
Right.
somewhere in the Pacific.
Did it happen?
It did, honest. It happened in like the 50s or something. Maybe later, I can't remember.
It was older than the 50s.
But it happened, and actually, they didn't obviously descend into madness and start killing each other. They helped each other to survive.
Lost.
You see, my own cynicism there says, nah, I don't believe that for a second. They must have formed into two groups
That's what you'd think.
and
But look
fight
at
each other.
Lord of the Flies, it's happened, and the complete opposite happened.
But that's my own cynicism. Human nature, we're all twats.
Not
Well,
Exactly, so this guy's going, you know, Quaid's going through the same thing, isn't he? Everything's like, everybody's a twat. Conspiracies are high because of the way that things have changed. Trump supporter. It's all.
And let's face it, Trump just plugs conspiracies, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Apparently, alright, it's going to change the subject briefly for a second, but it's tenuously connected. In that stimulus package, there's a 160 day delay on all the UFO files being released.
What?
It's like, because they hide stuff in the bills.
Yeah.
Well, unlike an obscure page in an obscure paragraph, there's this clause that says within 160 days, the CIA have to release all their UFO files. Just saying, that's what I've heard. Trump insisted on it, apparently.
I've never heard that one, but we'll see.
Well, I'm
fake
moving.
news.
I'm moving slightly different circles to you, Michael.
Bullshit circles, bro.
Hey, I've had some fantastic breaking news articles. So where do we stand with Randy?
Do you think the Star Whackers exist?
To a point, I do, because I look at the guy from the Lost Boys, what's his name? Came out and said about all the Hollywood paedophilia.
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim, that's it. I think he might have tied into that in a way. Maybe if they say too much, they do get taken out. I mean, there's been some mysterious deaths on movie sets over the years.
Yeah, but he could have just took his life because he was abused.
He could have been, but I'm just saying, maybe there's a shred of truth to what Randy's saying. Maybe they do destroy your career and siphon off your money, or kill you and siphon off your money. Maybe they have these targets, so they give them mental breakdowns. It's not hard to give someone a mental... It takes a couple of years, maybe, of negative reinforcement.
Well,
but you probably give someone a mental breakdown.
Some conspiracists believe that when Britney broke down, that was a MK Ultra failing.
Interesting.
So she was under control by her handlers. She managed to break free, and obviously they wanted to make her look crazy and that.
Yeah, so she shaves her head. Boom. Look at her, she's crazy. Might have been her way of saying that she was free. Maybe Randy Quaid's on MK Ultra and he's broke free. Who knows? I think it's a shared paranoid delusion. I think his wife, is the dominant personality in this. And I think he's gone along with it because he's afraid of losing her. Older man, younger woman, I think it boils down to that.
I think it's the other way around. I think he's like the crazy one, and she just goes along with it. She's quite.
Oh,
ditzy.
I'm also down for her spending all his money.
Yeah,
and this is like, so she spends all his money, and she's like, oh, but Randy, the money's been taken by the Star Whackers, all those checks. I'm not really paying off my credit card bills because I've spent like all your money. I'm actually it's the Star Whackers. We need to go and live in our Prius and drive around and skimp it on hotel bills that you think you got the money to pay, but you actually haven't because I've spent all your money.
It's always the wife.
I think it's a mixture of a shared delusion brought on by watching too much Alex Jones.
Yeah, sign of the times.
Yeah, and I think they just got into financial difficulties. It just snowballed, and their condition got worse.
And it's affected their mental health, hasn't it? And
yeah, it's quite sad, really.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's tragic because he was a great actor. You know, I can't see much for Evie. I don't know her work, but I've seen many Randy Quaid movies. They're great.
I mean, I'm not saying there aren't shady people in Hollywood and in the financial world that are going to take advantage of them. Of course there are. But
We
is
some very shady people who I wouldn't like who do stuff with people they shouldn't.
But
I mean, look at what's his face, Feinstein.
Yeah, but I kind of feel that if it was true, they'd be dead now.
Yeah.
But what if they're just on the run? I mean, alright, he is doing banned stuff.
But
They
if they're all powerful, they can just take you out any time, mate.
Ah, but he's come out in public. They can't take him out without
Yeah,
causing further conspiracy.
They've got a heart attack gun, haven't they?
Oh yeah, good point. The heart attack gun. Or the brown note, he could shit himself to death. I really want that gun to be real. And one day I want to fire a brown note cannon at a crowd. Just to see what... Just to see everyone shit themselves at once. What they do with crowd control, I just want to see it. I want to see if it's true. I want to see if it's something... No one else got hurt?
Gas?
No, it's just like a sonic wave thing, isn't it?
Whoa.
Oh, there's a high frequency weapon, yeah. So there's a certain note in the audible frequencies where you just immediately shit yourself, and that's like a non-lethal deterrent to stopping riots. Because when there's 200 people charging at you with like flaming torches and shit and throwing bottles and Molotov cocktails, and you just emit a sonic wave that makes everybody just immediately shit themselves, that's gonna break up any crowd, isn't it? Let's face it.
Well, I'm going to look to the left and right and go,
Like, oh no, what was that? And you're going to look, and everyone else is going to do the same thing, like looking left and right with this look of utter horror on their face, and they're going to go home to change and shower immediately.
Sneak a load of Imodium before you go.
Yeah, what about the ones that have got hard stools that just slide it out like...
No, this sound wave breaks through it all.
They're just going to shake the leg and it's down, isn't it?
But some people who are constipated may fucking just turn up to riots. This is a problem we have. Because they're going to go, why I went to a riot the type of shit I've had in years. I got sidetracked.
I think that's Randy Quaid.
That's Randy Quaid. Yeah. Alright then, weird news.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
AI dog to explore Mars's buried cave tunnels in new red planet breakthrough. Wow, well that sounds awesome. This sounds Total Recall. There's an oxygen fucking machine in Olympus Mons, presumably. One small step for man, one giant step for man's best friend. Like a dog with a bone, scientists are desperate to find out the secret of Mars. Oh, I love it. So much so, they're planning on sending robot canine explorers to map out the buried tunnels of the red planet. Boffins are equipping mechanical four-legged friends with artificial intelligence to prepare them for sniffing out Mars's many caves. But what if they find an alien civilization like in War of the Worlds? What if? I mean, they said that the Martians were survived underground in the canals because we couldn't see them. And Mars Attacks, let's not forget that classic.
I've seen the face on Mars.
It's crap, isn't it?
Do you mean it's crap? It's a face, isn't it?
No, it's a face, but it's pareidolia.
Might well be, but it looks
Isn't
like a
it
face.
just shadows?
Every single dark spot on that original photo from 1973, every single black circle on that is a group of pixels missing because the cameras weren't as good as they are now. Basically.
Right.
Nowadays it's mapped in high definition.
Still look like a face though.
It doesn't look like a face that's mapped in high def, but that could be NASA covering it up.
Could be.
And there's pyramids. You know.
Is there? What, on Mars?
Are meant to be.
Well, Randy Kramer's went to it there fighting the insectoids.
And the reptilians. Never forget them.
So are these dogs sniffing for water? What are they sniffing for?
Oh, they're going to autonomously navigate treacherous alien terrain to give researchers a clear idea of what lies ahead for mankind.
I can tell you what lies ahead for mankind.
Go on then.
Death and destruction.
Oh, right. Aww.
That's not a dog.
That's a dog. It's a little robotic yellow puppy that says... Well, it's not a puppy.
It's the
like
Boston Dynamics ones, isn't it?
Yeah, the one with the 4 bent back legs and...
Did anyone see them doing that dance?
No. I did watch a little bit of it and then got freaked out.
No.
Boston Dynamics robots all did a dance. Mike sent it to us and for New Year, and I was just like, I watched 30 seconds of it. I went, no, don't want to know. Don't want these fuckers dancing.
And because they can dance better than you.
I am the king of dance. I am the lord of the dance.
You were, but you killed Disco Ben.
Disco Ben may have got thrown into a tornado. This is true, but
And when you destroyed him, away went all your skills.
no, I didn't. I found out who I really was. The Lord of the Dance.
Dance, dance, wherever you may be. He is the Lord of the Dancer.
That's it. I'm called the God of the Dance.
I was just imagining you river dancing.
And I'm pretty sure you're slightly aroused.
Goose stepping, you mean?
The tides.
Goose stepping.
Goose. Why does that make you slightly aroused? It does, doesn't it, Mike?
I'm not saying anything.
I can see it. So the robotic pups will be able to explore in ways that the iconic rovers previously dispatched to Mars never could, live science reported. Scientists will fit the bots with sensors to allow them to avoid rocky obstacles and built-in software to allow them to build virtual maps of buried tunnels. The walking dog will be well suited for navigating tricky tunnels and going deep underground. The scientists said that toppling does not mean mission failure. Using recovery algorithms, a robot can self-right from a multitude of falls, which is what we don't want them to do, because when they're hunting us down in 20 years, we won't want them to be able to get back up if they fall over.
Oh no.
Not in that circumstance, no.
No.
But
And they're 12 times lighter than the rover.
Whoa.
Means they're faster. 3 miles an hour. There's people nowadays can't walk that.
me?
You're eating meat for these
I am.
robot
I've gone
dogs.
soft during lockdown.
You should be worried. During lockdown.
Well, it's been a slow decline for many years, but it's accelerated during lockdown. I'm in no shape to fight the robots.
But you're going to have to get in shape very fast, my friend. I've been starting to do gym, actually. I can go 24 hours now, so I can go to work when I finish.
Yeah.
And there's no one there to laugh at me for my fat attempts at lifting. Well, yeah, robot dogs, terrifying, yet also breaking the boundaries of science. Mapping Mars. The unsung heroes of human exploration in many ways. And I hope one is called Lassie.
They can't go that fast anyway because of the amount of energy it's going to take. They just want to do it slowly, don't they?
That's it.
Slowly, catchy monkey.
Yes.
There might be monkeys on Mars.
Maybe.
Mars monkeys.
Oh, you don't want them. They're probably worse than rock heaps.
He'll be chasing all the biker mice, won't he?
Oh, boy, of course. So that's when capitalism gets up there. Oh, well, alright. What's next then?
An estimated 1.5 billion masks have entered oceans in 2020.
Does not surprise me. They are fucking everywhere. Those disposable face masks. Which grotty bastard is just throwing that on the floor?
I think it comes out of people's pockets when they're.
Maybe. Some of them must. Oh, I don't
It's
know.
fucking annoying and they're everywhere.
They are.
According to some estimates, humans globally use and dispose of an estimated 129 billion face masks and 65 billion plastic gloves every month.
Ugh.
Inevitably, some of those will end up in our oceans where they can wreak havoc on the marine ecosystem.
So then microplastics flooding our system now. It's bound to be, innit? Probably, maybe.
The microplastics were, in BD sort of soaps and stuff, wasn't it?
Mm.
These just won't biodegrade for ages.
Yeah, there's got to be microplastics in them. They're rubber
Yeah.
gloves.
Oh, they can only break down to certain sizes. They found it in woman's womb now, haven't they?
Oh, the microplastics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
In the
babies.
unborn fetuses.
Yeah.
Placenta, yeah.
That's a bit scary.
A bit. Fuck me, what are we doing? Fuck this world, man.
Yes. Yes, we are. But don't worry, it'll be our great grandkids who are going to worry about that. We're okay for a bit.
We're at a unique point in history. We may see the decline of the human race. We
Well,
live to about 80 or 90.
Are we more gutted when the elephants go extinct?
Yeah.
That's when I'll be gutted. I know, I don't even want to think about it.
They're not going to go extinct, are they?
Of course they are.
Will we?
Yeah, they will do. I don't like it. I don't like the thought of there being no elephants. But if we carry on at this rate, they'll happen. And, you know, that's sadly, that's going to happen before we maybe see the decline of the human race in numbers because of global warming and loss of land, and then we've got to fight for the land and resources, so we end up in a state of perpetual war.
Yep.
Potentially.
It's going to be a grim end.
Gonna be grimdark.
Yep.
Maybe.
Happy New Year!
Hey!
It's 2021, look on the bright side.
Always look on the bright side of life. Yeah.
I'm joking, there's no bright sides.
Well, you know about the future's so bright, it's burning my retinas.
Well, all these are just going to
We've got Brexit, we'll be fine. Can't you feel the sovereignty flooding back into the country? In fact, I heard the army were called out a few days ago to deal with the amount of sovereignty flooding back in. So I mentioned Brexit again, sorry.
Well, these will just add to that big island of rubbish, won't they?
Yeah, the Pacific trash vortex.
Yeah.
Sounds like the name of a grunge band.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But sadly, no.
No.
It's something the size
Just-
of Texas.
And it's killing 100,000 marine animals and turtles and over 1 million seabirds.
And even greater numbers of fish, invertebrates, and animals each year.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh man. Not the octopuses. They punch fish out of spite. They're great.
Get away from my hole.
Alright, let's move on to something a bit more cheery.
Hey!
So, homeless man is hailed as a hero after rushing into a burning animal shelter to save cats and dogs.
God, this guy's a fucking hero.
Oh, my dog is my best friend, he said, and I wouldn't be here without him, so I knew I had to save all the other dogs, said the rescuer.
Aww.
This homeless man is in Georgia, Atlanta, and is being hailed a hero. His name's Keith Walker, and he's 53, and he managed to save all 6 dogs and 10 cats that were trapped in the W Underdog shelter after fire engulfed its kitchen on the 18th of December.
Wow.
Mr. Walker, who himself shelters his pit bull Bravo at W Underdogs every night, was there to pick up his dog and take him for a walk when he saw the shelter in flames. He said he was very nervous, and he says, I'm not going to lie, I was really scared to go in there with all the smoke, but God put me there to save those animals, said Mr. Walker.
Oh, great. That's great. Oh, that's that's news of the year so far, even though it's last year.
Well, yeah, technically.
It's the best news I've had in the 2 days this year's been on.
Yep.
Well, the founder of the shelter, Gracie
Hamlin.
Hamlin, hailed him a guardian angel.
Oh, and it empowers youths from disadvantaged neighbourhoods as well.
Oh, fair play to him.
Good lad.
And he's fucking homeless, you know what I mean? Society's probably treating him like absolute garbage.
Yeah, we're lucky he hasn't put on Clair makeup and gone on a rampage yet.
Exactly.
But no, because of the love of a dog, he's decided that he's not going to do that.
Well, someone's reached out on social media wanting to help this homeless man. Like, 'cause he's been homeless for 13 years or something.
Wow.
So, oh,
I hope he finds somewhere to live.
Yeah?
I hope they find him.
And his pit bull's cute as well. Look at that dog. Scroll it up, Mike. He's just a wholesome look at the dog. Oh, pit bulls are great.
Look at his tongue sort of...
Yeah. Dopey bastards. They're great. Alright then, let's finish the show on some Full Alex. Full Alex being the favourite gaming show in this flat. Every now and again, Michael finds us some clips of random weirdos who are spouting bullshit on the internet, and he'll put them up against the arch saint of insanity himself, Alex Jones. And we decide who's gone more full Alex in this particular encounter. Remember, it's alright to go a little bit Alex, quarter Alex, half Alex, maybe even 3/4 Alex, but never go full Alex.
Oh, that's it.
Never go full Alex on a train or podcast.
Ever.
So alright then, Mike, who's first up?
Well, first up was Randy Quaid.
Oh, Randy Quaid. Alright, let's see what Randy's got to say. He's got an impressive warband beard and he's sitting like a warrior on a chair. That is how warriors traditionally sit on chairs with the back thing in front.
How is it?
It is, so you can't be stabbed in the groin.
Okay.
Stabbed in the back though.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this the way America goes? From George Washington to George Soros? From oceans white with foam to a socialist swap? Is this the way America goes? Is this really our future? Wake up, you sleeping giant. The Lilliputians have tied you down with their fantastic dreams of icebergs melting into dinosaurs and train tracks stretching across the Pacific waters. Trump trumpets reveille, and it's time to heed the call. The framers have been framed, the people disarmed. Conservative voices are silenced in the schools by anarchists left unmasked. Merry Christmas is greeted cheerlessly, even condemned. Is this how America goes? To a nation of godless fanatics? In the shadows of big tech and empty condos, homeless citizens fill the streets, wallowing in their own filth, while big pharma sedates us with opiates. The food industry poisons our insides, and business organizations kowtow to communist marching orders. Is this the way America goes? In a stupor of ignorance? In obedience to corruption and greed? Ring out, you bells of freedom! Sound the alarm across the land! Old glory is being ripped to shreds by fakers and phonies, bullies and liars who want to destroy our president and redefine the sovereignty of the Supreme Court, rewrite the rules. A day of reckoning is nigh. Wake up!
Whoa.
Well, that was a lot to take in.
It was.
He's obviously a Trump supporter in that scenario. He's sat there doing a dramatic reading. What can you say? He wants to drain the swamp. He wants these people out. Obviously, it ties in with his star killer scenario where these people are the elites.
But he never drained the swamp, that was the whole thing. He just recycled the swamp. Brought in other swamp creatures into the positions, that's it.
Yeah, there were some dodgy creatures put in. Well, there still are. I mean, he's not for 100% certain. He's out, yeah.
Well, he is, isn't he?
Well, Mike Pence has got a... Weirdly, in the American system, Mike Pence has to fucking decide whether the electoral college votes are okay or not.
Does he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The outgoing deputy president has to decide whether the electoral college votes are okay.
No. That's got to be bollocks, hasn't it?
That's true, he's going to do it.
It's got to be biased, hasn't it?
Of course. But they're relying on that man to be a man of integrity and not a bootlicker. Alright then, who's next?
Next up, right-wing pastor completely breaks down and weeps for Trump.
Oh, I want to see this.
Oh.
We petition the courts, and we ask, Lord, that as it is written in the books of heaven, as it has been ordained in the councils of heaven, that President Donald J. Trump shall be reset and shall be reseated as the President of the United States of America. You, Lord, will arise and you will cause my President, Donald J. Trump, to be reset and to be received, Jesus. What you granted it would be done, Lord.
Was anyone else just looking at the really bored keyboardist behind him? And he's just like, oh, is this going on? Because he's holding down the spiritual noise and he's like, dung.
Yeah. For the listener, there was one guy in the background, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Young kid.
Playing the keyboard behind him.
This guy
doing the spiritual noise you were in the background of him praying, and he's sobbing and weeping. And this kid's just like, oh, really? Ding.
How much I get for this gig?
Ding. Doing the spiritual bell tolls and that. Oh, trying to create that beautiful scene. He looks so uninterested. That guy's crying and sobbing his heart out. Please, God, please.
Would have been
Please,
funny if
Donald
you
Trump.
broke out into some really sort of like cheerful music.
A dancing cat comes on.
The best of it, they call the left snowflakes. Amazing, isn't it?
It is. It's fantastic. I saw it. I thought I've got to watch that. Okay then, Alex.
Alex Jones turns Chinese.
Oh God, this is going to be very, very, very controversial, isn't it?
Horribly.
This is going to be very unwoke.
Sorry, run full fit all out. You die America, you die America's Africa too. It's China's property. Oh, we tell you to lock down, you starve to death. You scared of virus, but you starve to death. Chapan chan wanga hakangi home. Chapangi wanga wanga hakanga pato. Starve America, starve Europe too. Kill the Africans, kill them all. Chapin chan wan chan young. Pong chan wang dong dong. We found the Antifa Maoist group. Ha 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 ha. We love Hillary too. It's so damn fun. You're so damn scared.
Yeah, right. This has been offensive for long enough.
Prepare to die.
Oh.
No, he's not got my win this week. I think he's just being offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just run through. Who was it first?
I mean, the nerve of the guy. No wonder he's been banned, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the conspiracy rounds are okay, but the minute you start doing shitty Chinese impressions, then again, the Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1, that didn't get banned, and there's some terrible Japanese impressions in that movie.
Seen the person who posted the video?
He's called Adolf Hitler. That's like, you know what that is, in a nutshell? That's like going to a working man's club to see a stand-up comedian in 1978 Britain.
I don't think it was that bad then.
I don't think it's ever been that bad.
No.
I think it has.
Not that bad.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, that is just... It's inexcusable, isn't it? It's just...
It's not even funny. That's the worst of it. It's like when Krusty the Clown does it on The Simpsons, like he's trying to prove he's still funny. And he does the whole, oh, me so sorry, and the flapping dicky. Yeah, I did. Because I'm parodying Krusty, so it's okay. Right? It is a flapping dicky and the quote comedy hilarious buck teeth. That's exactly what Alex Jones is doing. And it wasn't funny then, and it's not funny now, and it's not even... I don't even know, he's trying to say it was a Chinese virus. Well, yeah, what was an American virus next time? You're going to sit there in your Stars and Stripes suit and eat a hot dog and do like a really dumbass redneck American accent? Are you going to do that? No, you're not, are you? No. So, yeah, alright. Next one, there was
past it.
Well, it was fun, mainly for the guy behind him. There was a previous guy.
Randy Quaid.
Oh, I think Randy for the performance. Because it's the whole ensemble. Comes down, spanks the chair down, sits across it so he can't be stabbed in the front, only in the back, by the Star Killers. Gonna take his wounds like a man, not like a man in the back, to show that he was, stabbed in the back by the people that he trusted. And he's ranted about how Trump's drained the swamp and all that. Yeah, boom.
I think there's more talking points with Randy's with him you know, it's just like, oh my god, I can't
Yeah.
believe you cried, and that's
He-
it. And
Sorry, why are you? The dude behind him is literally like, why are you crying? You can see it on his face. He's like, why are you crying?
And Alex has just been a racist twat. this
Alex
time.
has just been a twat, really, isn't he? So, who's on more for Alex? I'm going for the first guy.
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid, I'm going for
Comes
Randy.
full circle.
And it all comes full circle, wow. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Ben, don't do the favour aid, don't join a cult. Follow us on Facebook,
You know how to
Instagram,
find
Twitter,
us,
you know
yeah.
what I find. Come into the button, the Post Apocalypse, cut into the button, the PT on SoundCloud,
Apocalypse Ball on YouTube.
Apocalypse Bud on YouTube, boom.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
I've been Claire, I'll keep an open mind, but not so open-minded.